was like big, like boom, boom, boom. And my husband comes in, he was like, somebody got shot.
I saw somebody screaming for help, like, somebody help me, please help me. I put my kids straight to the ground and I ran straight out of here, barefoot. And the only reason I came is because I was thinking like that could have been me.
This morning, we now know more about what led possibly to a deadly shooting outside a North Macon apartment complex.
And we're also learning more about the victim, 34-year-old Glenn Stevens. The Bibb Sheriff's Office says the shooting happened at the Park at Northside Apartments on Northside Drive just before 11 Wednesday night. Someone found Stevens shot in the parking lot of the complex, and he later died at a hospital. Coroner
Leon Jones says Stevens was a New Yorker who had just moved to Macon in the apartment building this month. We spoke to a man who lives at the complex. He says after he heard the shots, he heard a woman call for help, and this is what she told him.
Two kids ran up, tapped on the window with guns, and the dude got out because they wasn't even robbing him. They was robbing her, but he got out trying to help. He started fighting the dude, and that's when another dude came from behind and shot him.
Now, the sheriff's office is still investigating. Stevens' death marks Macon Bibb's 15th homicide of the year.
That's around 5 more than this time last year. Family and friends are now remembering the life of a woman found dead at a Monroe County boat ramp this week.
And if, anybody that we can help by sharing our story, that's what we want to do.
You can see there they held a balloon release last night for Toriana Proctor. Her family filed a missing persons report Wednesday morning around 8:30. Then around noon, deputies found a car at the Holly Grove boat ramp on Lake Juliette. Proctor's boyfriend, Jadarius Watts, owned the vehicle. Deputies found Tori dead in the back seat of the car. Now her family says they don't want her to be forgotten.
Just to make sure that we continue to remember her and all her joyous ways, her smile, and like I said, just to celebrate her life.
Prayers are certainly with that family. Now Proctor's friends say they held a balloon release yesterday because it was actually her birthday. She would have been 22 years old. Monroe County investigators are looking into the case. Right now, Watts faces 5 charges, including murder, aggravated assault, and kidnapping.
Well, in news from across the state, federal prosecutors say 5 people illegally trafficked more than 500 guns from Georgia to California. They say the West Coast state is where they would sell the guns on the black market for more than $160,000 over nearly 2 years. The federal investigation started after authorities found a gun used in a Sacramento, California shooting was traced back to Georgia. A federal grand jury indicted the group yesterday after their arrest earlier this month. All 5 are charged with conspiracy and unlawfully dealing firearms. Defense attorneys for a former Georgia prosecutor charged in connection to the Ahmaud Arbery death investigation are now speaking out. Lawyers for the former DA Jackie Johnson say there's no evidence she discouraged police from making arrests in Arbery's killing. In a legal filing this week, her lawyers asked a judge to dismiss a misdemeanor charge that she hindered police investigating the February 2020 shooting. According to Johnson's attorneys, Glynn County Police told investigators they concluded on their own that Arbery was shot in self-defense. No arrest came until state investigators got involved 2 months later. A jury convicted 3 men of murder and federal hate crimes in Arbery's killing. That included Gregory McMichael, who was a former investigator for Johnson's office, his son Travis, and William Roddy Bryan.
In election news, a group of Georgia voters are challenging Marjorie Taylor Greene's eligibility to run for re-election. They filed a complaint citing the U.S. representative's comments before and after the January 6th Capitol riots last year. They claim Greene helped facilitate the event and should be considered ineligible to hold office under the Disqualification Act of the 14th Amendment in the U.S. Constitution. The Associated Press says Greene forcibly rejected the challenge in an emailed statement. Turning to the roads this morning, we're taking a closer look at gas prices and what you should look out for when you're filling up. In Georgia in the past week, fuel numbers have gone from well over $4 to as low as $3.50 a gallon in some places. And as prices continue to change, keep this in mind. It is illegal in Georgia for stations to charge more than the advertised price. The total cost per gallon, including tax, has to appear on the sign and the pump. A Central Georgia driver says she realized that she recently paid 10 cents more a gallon at a gas station. She says people need to pay close attention.
I would check the price at the pump because the price at the pump is the actual price. And you can't argue with anyone at the counter or whatever because it's out of their control. And so Kroger is responsible, the corporation, for not discounting it like as it should have been while it was advertised.
Now, Mackenzie says the store eventually gave her a $15 credit to her Kroger card, but she wants an apology from the company's president and CEO. You can report possible violations to the Fuel and Measures Division of the Georgia Department of Agriculture. Taking a closer look at fuel prices in our state, AAA shows the average for regular gas sits at $3.98 a gallon. That's nearly a quarter less than a week ago. Check this out with a Central Georgia family. One Central Georgia teen is now making a name for herself, Caitlin, at the state level.
Yes, the Boys and Girls Clubs of Central Georgia is celebrating Elya Simmons, who is now Georgia's Youth of the Year. The title highlights teens who overcame odds and showed exceptional character and accomplishments. The winners are recognized for their community service and their academic performance.
Now, Elya says she wants other black girls to know that they can make history too without changing who they are.
You don't have to be any different than what you are. Of course, yes, you have to conduct yourself in a certain way when you're around certain people, but personality-wise, don't feel like you have to change your personality, or don't think that you aren't enough or aren't good enough just because of what you look like on the outside.
Some very important messages coming from her, and she plans to attend Georgia State and major in journalism. Maybe a future 13 WMAZ reporter on our hands.
She definitely wants to do that. The time is now 6:37 a.m. She wants to take a tour of the station, but you know we're still closed up because of COVID to keep everybody safe. But I'm going to talk to our boss to see if we can make something happen for her.
Yes, I'd love to get her in here and meet her and let her see the studio.
Yeah, get a feel for the morning show and see all the fun that goes on behind the scenes.
That's right. She has a very bright future, though,
She
no
does.
matter what.
Absolutely.
Really a spectacular girl to win for the entire state. What an accomplishment. You should be very proud of yourself, and we are very proud of you, of course. All right, everybody. Well, let's talk about what's going on out there for the start of the day, whether you're heading to work or school. It is a chilly morning out there. You're looking live on top of the fairgrounds. I looked up some of the events that were going on this weekend. There are some RVs out there. There's an RV festival something of some sort going on this weekend. I can't remember the exact name. There's all, yeah, so that makes sense. And then there's also barrel racing going on this weekend. That's always really fun to watch. And then a cheerleading competition. So lots going on at the fairgrounds, and I'm sure that means a lot of people are going to be coming into town, and the weather is going to be great for it. 47 right now in the city of Perry. Area wide, we're generally in the upper 40s and low 50s. 49 in Macon, 50 in Warner Robins and in Montezuma, 46 in Forsyth, 49 in Gordon and in Dublin, and 50 in Cochrane. Area wide, upper 40s, low 50s. It's cold out there. You're going to want a jacket. When it comes to the air, we're very dry. Those dew points are quite low. We're in the low 40s dew point wise, and if you remember just a couple of days ago, we were in the 60s. That was pretty muggy, but now that has changed. And while this feels very comfortable, not only are we dry when it comes to our air mass, but we're dry when it comes to our ground, so our ground conditions. You could see abnormally dry for most of the area, moderate drought in some of our southeastern counties. Now, a little disclaimer on this is definitely an improvement from where we were just a couple of weeks ago, since we've gotten a sufficient amount of rainfall, especially for March. If you remember back to yesterday, we're actually slightly above average for the month of March when it comes to our rainfall, which is great news. But the thing is, with the dry air, also with the dry ground conditions and the breeze that is going to build in today, we do have a fire weather watch for tomorrow. This goes from noon to 8 p.m. So if you were planning on doing any kind of bonfire, or you were planning on doing any kind of outdoor burning, that's just not recommended, as fire can spread really quickly with the weather conditions that are in place. So you are going to want to just be very, very aware of that. Now, we are going to be breezy because of a weather system that's going to continue to push off to the east through the day. Did bring a couple of showers to parts of Alabama. Closer you get to a center of low pressure, the windier it's going to be. So as this scoots closer to us, we're going to pick up our wind. And then once the sun starts to rise, that's when all the particles in the air start to mix. So that's going to help create that breeze as well, or at least aid in our wind gusts upwards of 25 miles per hour through the day today. Nonetheless, a beautiful looking day. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures will be in the mid to upper 60s. Get out and enjoy it. If you're heading out tomorrow to the Cherry Blossom Festival, one of my favorite events, the Mulberry Street Arts and Crafts Festival tomorrow, it is going to be windy still, with wind gusts upwards of 20 miles per hour in the morning, 25 to 30 through the afternoon. Still going to be another beautiful day, but you are going to want to keep in mind to really secure those tents down, as tents and wind don't really go too well together. Through the weekend, mid to upper 60s, stunning last weekend of the Cherry Blossom Festival. Get out and enjoy it while it's still in town, but it will stay breezy. Nonetheless, beautiful. As we head into the start of next week, low 70s Monday, and then we're going to be in the 80s Tuesday and Wednesday. That's all ahead of a cold front that'll bring us our next rain and storm chance come Thursday of next week.